And then there were three. Former Maryland Governor Marty O'Malley announcing today that he will join Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders in the Democratic race for president. Hillary Clinton tweeting shortly after O'Malley's announcement, "Welcome to the race, Governor O'Malley. Looking forward to discussing strong families and communities." Let's talk about this with CNN political commentators Marc, Lamont, and Ben Ferguson. They are back. Marc, we were just talking before the break about how sort of nasty things have been. What?
Can I just say, you know you don't have a chance of winning an election when your opponent welcomes you into the race on Twitter? That should be the biggest sign Martin O'Malley ain't got a chance.
I hope,
come on.
I hope you're teaching that in your classes in college, right?
This is just playing nice.
Right.
This
Hillary's
is just,
like, yes.
On a serious note,
play nice, right?
On a serious note, you're looking at this weird relationship because you've got O'Malley, who stumped for Clinton in 2008, who was singing her praises. You've got the Clintons, who helped raise money for Martin O'Malley. What do you make of what that does to really giving a formidable competitor to Hillary Clinton, Ben, in this primary?
Look, I think the more the merrier. And honestly, if you're Hillary Clinton's supporter, you want her to have someone to fight with in a primary so that she is battle ready for the Republican nominee and for all the Republicans who are going to come after her. I mean, I think the worst case scenario for her would have been to coast into this and not be tested and not have to deal with the media and not have to answer as many questions. And if these candidates are smart, they're going to go after her every single day to force her to engage them as legitimate candidates for the White House. I think this is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. You're dealing with someone I think is obviously being very much underestimated. Former governors, they know how to play ball, and I think this will be something to be very fun to watch.
And I do think, look, it hasn't been all kumbaya and cordial because, and you heard in his announcement speech today, Marc, he said, look, you can't pass sort of the presidency on from family to family. He came at Hillary Clinton on Wall Street, right? He talked about how Wall Street really likes Hillary Clinton, and he talked about sort of the income gap, and it seems like he tried to take her on in that way.
No, I think that, first of all, I think that having other candidates in a primary is important. I didn't want to see a coronation for Hillary at all, and I don't think anyone really wants on either side of the aisle, except maybe the most staunch Hillary supporters. I think Bernie Sanders raises some very interesting questions, and I think Bernie's actually a very strong candidate, probably not one who will win, but a strong candidate minus his problematic politics on the Middle East. And so for me, Bernie was somebody who was dragging Hillary into the conversation that many of us wanted her to have on income inequality. For the Clintons, somebody like Bernie Sanders, though, still makes her look clean because ultimately she doesn't win. He doesn't win, excuse me. With Martin O'Malley, it's a little more complicated because he's a governor, because he has executive experience, because he can raise some domestic policy issues. He can raise some issues that can concern people about Hillary Clinton that won't stop Hillary from winning the primary, but will drag into the general and maybe make people say, hey, wait a minute, is this the person we want to be president? O'Malley could hurt her.
You got two on, and here's the other thing, too.
Yeah.
You've got 2-on-1. You've got two campaigns now that are really going to be working side by side without shaking hands to go after Hillary to try to weaken her as a candidate, because ultimately neither of them are going to be successful unless they can both land knockout punches on policy against Hillary Clinton. And I think it'll be interesting to see where they attack her and how. But I promise you this. Both of their campaigns are going to be willing to team up, whether it be on money or even the issues like Benghazi, because right now, neither of them have a shot at this unless they weaken her on policy issues, and I think she's going to have to engage them.
But here's, Marc, how I think Bernie Sanders, who you brought up, Vermont senator, really could change the game. Even if he doesn't have the name recognition, even if he does not have the polling numbers, what he does have is that growing chorus of people talking about income inequality. What he does have, Marc, right, is the ability to pull her further to the left. And I wonder how you think that affects her appeal in a potential general election.
See, I only think you get pulled to the left if people read the candidate as legitimate. I mean, Mitt Romney didn't get pulled to the right because of Ron Paul. You know, Barack Obama didn't get pulled to the left because of Dennis Kucinich or Al Sharpton. It doesn't mean that you don't have to have those conversations on stage. But when it gets to nuts and bolts public policy, I don't think that a critique of Hillary Clinton's policy is going to be compelling to the average voter, even though it should be, simply because Bernie Sanders raises it. That's all, and I love Bernie Sanders. I think he's right on this issue, but I just don't think the American public responds to him. I think Martin O'Malley brings the legitimacy, even if he doesn't bring the votes or name recognition, that could actually force her to have that conversation.
And look, here's here's one other thing. Historical anecdote here. Remember when Hillary Clinton was in this exact same situation when she ran last time, and then there was this senator that wasn't very well known but gave a great speech once named Barack Obama? She's been in this situation before and didn't do very well when it came down to the end game. And so if I'm her campaign right now, I am very concerned about the people that are jumping in, because last time when she was overwhelmingly in the lead, she couldn't get it done and she got beat up.
Guys, good conversation as always. Thanks, Marc, Ben.
Thanks, Bob.